You don't take a city of 500,000 people by storming its walls. You do it by closing a door. King's Landing, home of the Iron Throne, has exactly one door that matters. It isn't a gate. It's a stretch of open water called the Gullet, narrow enough to sail across in an afternoon. Whoever holds it decides who eats in the capital, who trades, and who gets paid. One man understood this before the war even began. They called him the Sea Snake. Corlys Velaryon commanded the largest fleet the world had ever seen. He didn't march it into battle. He didn't burn it in some glorious charge. He sailed it into the Gullet and shut it. Every ship carrying grain, coin, and cargo to King's Landing had to pass through that water. Suddenly, nothing did. No swords at the gates, no siege towers, just a fleet sitting across the throat of the capital. The city quietly began to starve. Here's what most people miss. The Greens held the Iron Throne, the king, the crown, and the Red Keep. None of it mattered. A throne doesn't feed anyone. Legitimacy doesn't unload grain at the docks. The Sea Snake had turned the map itself into a weapon, and the most powerful faction had no answer. For one simple reason, they had no navy. You can rule the 7 kingdoms and still lose the war without a single fleet. Whoever owns the water owns the supply line, and the supply line is the war. A dragon can burn an army. It cannot escort a grain convoy through 100 enemy ships. The Greens were kings of a starving city, and everyone could hear the clock ticking. So they did the only thing left. They rented one. Across the narrow sea sat the Triarchy, 3 free cities with 90 warships for hire and loyalty to no one. Their admiral had spent years at war with Corlys Velaryon over the Stepstones. An old trade dispute, a personal grudge. That grudge is what the Greens bought. 90 ships sailed to break the blockade, not for a king they'd never met, but to settle a score. Strip away the crowns and dragons. This war turns on a choke point, a supply route, and control of the sea. Not honor, not birthright. Trade. The Iron Throne is about who holds the water everyone else must sail through. Now both sides understand it. Break the blockade, and the capital breathes. Hold it, and a dynasty suffocates. The 2 greatest fleets in the world are converging on the narrowest water on the map. 90 ships against the pride of House Velaryon, in a channel barely wide enough to hold them all. What happens there is about to become the bloodiest hour ever fought at sea. The throne, the dynasty, and the war came down to one stretch of water most people would sail straight past.